All right, welcome back to another Wright Stew podcast. I am Paul Stewart,
I am Brian Wright.
still Brian Wright. You know what? And if you're back on the YouTube, you can see our beautiful faces again. We're back on it. We figured out some technical difficulties. We're making things happen. We're making some moves, baby. So we're doing some things over here. So Brian got a big Wednesday. We're getting over that hump. Some good things on the horizon. We got NBA playoffs, first round matchups. None of them super surprising. Got hockey playoffs going on. Got the NFL draft. We're starting to get into a little bit of the heart of Major League Baseball season. But also we got some minor league baseball going on. And you and I both saw the clip yesterday of the minor leaguer who hit a walk off, essentially a walk off fly ball through the warning track. And I mean, I don't even know if you call it a bat flip. He chucked his bat into the air, and because it's minor leagues, they didn't have like a full blown production, so we couldn't see the shot of just him. But you see the ball going to the outfield, and in the foreground of the picture, you see a bat just flying through the air, clearly like 25, 30 feet in the air. Brian, I know we've talked about some of these things are getting a little out of control. What are your thoughts on that bat flip there?
I don't know. I go back and forth. I mean, originally you're just kind of it's too much, right? That's really my first instinct. And then I don't want to be get off my lawn guy. I know it's entertainment. So I feel like there's a balance there that maybe that oversteps. But I do think a lot of times it is, it's our age and older that have a problem with it. A lot of times, man, if you're 25 or 20, I don't know if you got a problem with it. If you're 15, you're definitely seeing it happen more. And I think there's just a kind of a change in what is class, right? You used to talk about win with class, lose with class. And I feel like maybe that perspective has just changed altogether.
Yeah, so I don't know if, and it's interesting because I think our generation, maybe a little younger, used to take certainly the generations before us took winning and losing very personally, took it very seriously, and I don't think you see that as much anymore. And especially, and I think part of it is the AAU culture, the travel baseball culture. You're always kind of you've got another game to play, sort of thing, and none of them really mean anything, right? Like,
I think there's some of it. I'm definitely seeing that change at where we are. I definitely think it's the travel ball culture, and it's the minor league kind of culture that kind of seeps down into once you get to high school, you do a lot of showcase stuff, and it becomes very much about me, not about we. And so I do think not having kind of that competitive like community league where you're fighting against buddies that you got to go to school with and talk to, and I think there's something lost there a little bit. But
yeah,
I do see it a little bit with middle school baseball, at least what we're in now, where they definitely take pride in it. They definitely know a lot of the kids because they do play a lot of travel ball with the kids. There's a line there that we try to, hey, you can be friends, but hey, once the game starts, let's not, we get a little chirping where they're trying to chirp at each other a little bit. And sometimes it's in jest. You don't know if they're really friends or not friends, right? And again, I think it's more kind of the Fortnite culture, right? The Fortnite culture is you kill somebody, then you teabag on them. Right, and I don't think, you can't teabag on the baseball field, and
yeah,
so
tough.
I think the culture is just slightly different. I do think, your good players when it's all said and done are going to be highly competitive. There's
Yeah.
no other way about it. Otherwise, you're going to get weeded out real fast. I mean, at least in this area here, and you've seen it too. You got to be daggum good just to make a high school team, right? And I mean, there's going to be a lot of good players that are done playing that don't maybe want to be done playing at 14 years old because you got to be really good to make a JV team. And so I think, at some point that is kind of a weeding out factor that I think used to happen a lot more, maybe 13, 14. But there's a lot. I've talked to one of our friends who's down in a different county, and they still run the traditional middle school baseball.
Mhm.
And they're saying a lot of their kids are sitting on the bench as the travel ball kids. And yeah, they're on the middle school team, but they're sitting on the bench because they're playing with eighth graders. And so I think there's something to be learned in that environment too, or if you're playing against older kids. But I don't disagree that some of the kind of minor league baseball culture kind of seeps down because it does become about me and not as much about we.
Yeah, yeah. So, and having played 10 league seasons, the higher you got, the more almost integrity, I guess, for lack of a better word, you saw guys have, and they cared about winning, and they had the bigger picture in mind. This, like you said, the selfish guys were, yeah, really kind of looked down upon almost. Or you had some guys who were legitimate big league veterans, or guys who had big league time, and they kind of set them straight real quick. It's like, hey, that doesn't play at the big league level, so it's not going to play here. So I think certainly in AAA, you start to see some guys who were like very team oriented, and they understand, like they have a better perspective on, man, if I have a guy on third less than two outs, I am going to try to give myself I'm going to try to hit the ball. But if I hit a ground ball to second base and score the run, I've done my job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great
And
point.
so,
Great
and you
point.
see a lot of guys who have very professional at bats and very professional approaches and that sort of thing because they've been around. It was always interesting. So when I was in Beloit in the Midwest Leagues, that's the low A ball. We were only 50 miles or so from Milwaukee, so we saw a lot of guys would come down on rehab assignments, whether pitchers or position players. And the position players always said, and even the pitchers are like, man, I don't know how to pitch or hit at this level because the guys you can't set them up. Like a pitcher was trying to be strategic and throw a pitch to set, and the guy would swing at it. Like I didn't expect him to swing at that pitch. It was off the plate or whatever it was. And same thing for hitting is like, yeah, this guy should throw me this in this sequence, but then they would throw something completely opposite because there was maybe not as much thought process behind it.
What percentage of guys do you think, excuse me, as hitters, and I feel like we've got to a point, and maybe we touched on it before, are guess hitters, where they're trying to guess along with the pitcher as far as what they're going to throw next.
I think still most guys sit fastball and adjust to a breaking ball. And then I think there's probably a percentage of I don't think guys are just straight guessing. Nobody can be that good, right? I don't think there's any guys who are just straight guessers. I think there's different at bats when you look for tendencies, you look for patterns, you that's when those scouting reports come into play. Hey, when he's 1-2 to a right-handed hitter, he typically goes to this pitch. Maybe you have that in the back of your mind. I think I think calling guys guess hitters or anything like that in this day and age probably isn't fair because there's so much homework and so much research and so much studying going on from everything, right?
And I may be wrong. I think there's a lot now, Paulie. I mean,
Yeah,
I may be completely wrong just because guys are throwing so hard.
yeah,
I feel like there's definitely guys that are going up there and saying fastball. I'm swinging at fastball if it's fastball
yeah.
in the strike zone.
Well, again, so I don't think that's not guessing. That's having a plan, right? And you're gonna spit on anything that's spinning or knuckling or moving.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I would say like back in the day, like somebody had a really good changeup. I don't know if you're trying to hit that changeup. I think there were guys who did. I've seen Otani, some of his at bats. It feels like he's definitely at least got my thought process because I've seen him take, strike three right down the Peter hole, fastball 95, cut the heart of the plate.
Yeah,
And so I would say there's a lot of, at least having a lot of plans up there. But I would say guessing may be too strong a word, but definitely having a plan to where they're spitting on, off speed in this situation, or they're looking dead red.
yeah, yeah. And so it's interesting. I think that's probably more the approach. You're hunting a pitch, right? You're hunting. And it was funny. I think back. So the Brewer, when I was with the Brewers in '99, the hitting approach was the hitting plan. First fastball strike you see, hit that ball. Let's not get to the spinning stuff. Let's hit the fastball. We had some of the fastest games that year that I've ever been a part of because guys were just swinging fastballs early in counts. I mean, pitchers are trying to get ahead. and not every fastball you see early in the counts a great, yeah, a great pitch to hit.
No, no.
And that honestly, you know what? That brings me to I was watching, well, I watch games all the time, but one of the terms announcers use now is they call it ambush when they say somebody swings at the first pitch. Like, oh, he ambushed him. I'm like what? I just don't like that term. I just think it's kind of dumb. Like
Okay.
ambush, like you know, it's a pitch. Like it's the same as he has the right to swing at that pitch as much as he does the second, third, or fourth pitch, right? It's not an ambush. It's just
So you see ambush as a negative connotation. I think about Bryce Harper, and there's definitely times where he's aware of his tendencies. He'll go through parts of the year where he takes that first pitch a lot. Then he'll go through parts of the year where he's swinging at that first pitch a lot. And I really think the good guys are very aware of what their tendencies are, and they are aware how they're trying to be attacked. One of the things I thought was interesting, at least as I watched that clubhouse series, there's not just one hitting coach anymore. You got multiple guys that are trying to look at either analytical, biomechanical, who the hell else knows is out there. But you don't have just one pitching coach. I mean, one hitting coach. And
yeah,
so I think like as long as you got kind of the same kind of message being sent, I was very quick to change, but very hesitant to listen to somebody else. If it was my idea, as far as my stance or my approach, I would change very fast. If it was somebody else's, they had to. I don't know. It's just. I think that's the maturity in hitters, and obviously the guys that have made it to the big leagues have done it for a long time and really good players. But there's a balance between being coachable and doing. And the flip side of that is, hey, having conviction in what you're trying to do.
yeah, yeah. There's a big difference, right? Because I've shared that story before. Like I was too coachable. Like they said, hey, stop throwing that pitch. I just stopped throwing it altogether. And it was my strikeout pitch. Like what? I,
Now, 45-year-old, I mean, whatever, however old you are, Paulie, you would not, you would still be throwing
I
the
wish I
ball.
would have still thrown it. I don't know. Like it was. I don't even know the scout's name who called me. Like I didn't know that dude, but I just. All right, it was probably some knucklehead that called me from another team or something. But well, speaking of hitting coaches, it's always crazy now when I'm watching games and see like people I played with or against or know. So watching the Giants and Brewers, one of the West Coast swing the Brewers are on. Pat Burrell is the San Francisco Giants hitting coach, and so I actually got a chance to play with Burrell in high school. So we were on a summer travel team, and this is very, very, very early, like travel ball stuff. When you back in the day, you said, "Hey, I'm on a travel team," and it meant
You
like
were a good player.
you were a really good player, yeah. And man, saw him. He looked good, looked like he's in good shape. But man, seeing that guy hit in high school was ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, took just a massive
Well,
hack.
he's just a massive man who had really good ball to hand or barrel to ball skills.
Yeah,
And
and just yeah, a big. Even in high school, man, he was 6'5", probably 220, like a big, big, strong dude. And that summer ball team we played on was beyond ridiculous how good we were. And then he went on to Miami the following year and was the NCAA Freshman of the Year.
oh yeah, I very much remember that.
Yeah, so he was clearly a really
And
good
then
player.
he was up. He was up really quick too when he got drafted. Hey,
Yeah,
have we talked about the Iowa meat locker
I no,
or
I don't even know
Iowa?
what you're talking about.
I think it's Iowa. Maybe it's Iowa meat truck. Iowa meat truck. There's a
I have
minor
no
league
idea.
player.
Is this appropriate? Do we need to send out a
No,
warning?
yeah, yeah, very appropriate. No ears, no earmuffs or anything like that.
Okay,
Iowa meat truck. He's a minor league player. Hopefully, I'm saying it right.
I'm pulling.
Um, dude, he's built like a refrigerator, and he's got a buddy who owns a company called the Iowa Meat Truck, and so he wore one of his shirts to a game. It's you walk in whatever gear you're going to wear in that day, and it's the Iowa Meat Truck, and so now his nickname is Iowa Meat Truck. He's called that in a lot of
So
circles when they're announcing
Peyton
Iowa Meat Truck.
Williams, Peyton Williams from the University of Iowa, from Des Moines, Iowa, is the part of the Blue Jays organization, is what it looks like here. So he embodies the Iowa meat truck name. It's pretty solid.
That is, we've done a thing on kind of nicknames, and you think about back to the
Yeah.
20s, 30s, and 40s, there's a lot of good ones. That may be the best, one of the best modern day.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh,
What's man, how would you feel about that name? I mean, he's a big dude.
yeah, he looks like it. He looks like he's about 35,
He looks
and
he looks old. He was born in so he's 24.
yeah, he's
Right.
24, but he looks 35, and he is built like
6'5", 255 is what
yeah,
it's.
and that's I wouldn't be surprised if it was 265 or 270,
Yeah,
right?
it's
I
a
mean, it is
275.
I feel like he's still got baby fat on him, and it looks like he's still got a long ways. Like they talk about, hey, your prime athletic years are like 25 to 30, like ideal is 26, 27. So he's got some more good years in front of him. But man, he swings the crap out of the bat. Swings the crap out of the bat. Hey, I was also going back. We talked about this earlier in the week when the Yankees pitcher lost his no hitter, kind of on review.
Yeah,
Did,
Max Fried lost it.
did you actually see the play? Did
Yeah,
you go back and watch the play?
yeah, of course.
Did you think he was going to be safer out?
I thought it would be close. I probably safe, but it would have been a close play.
Originally, I didn't see it, and you was like, probably should have been an error. And but after I watched it a couple of times, that Simpson kid for Tampa Bay, that's the kid I was telling you about, who could run like a cheetah.
Is that the one who hit it?
That's the one who hit it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it was the right call, even though I don't like
I mean,
them
the
going
ball
back and
hit the
changing the
heel. The
call.
ball hit the heel of his palm,
Yeah,
flying like right angle. Like,
I think he would have beat the pitcher to first base too when they showed it from multiple angles. But I can understand from your perspective, you want to fight for that no.
yeah, well, especially when the guy just boots it so badly. That's the. I mean, you don't have a chance. All right, Brian. What last? So had a middle school baseball game yesterday. We got one inning in, got rained out, so missed out on playing some ball yesterday. But got us a chance to go out to dinner. Had a nice dinner with the family, and we get the bill at the end, and the guy brings out the little kiosk. So let me first, Brian, ask you: have you ever worked in food service?
I did. I was a biscuit company employee for about two
Right.
years.
That's right.
So I think everybody really should do it. You'll treat people differently.
Yeah,
Um, there's definitely been times I've been in line where I have to remember back that these people don't really care about the job, and I just don't want them to spit in my food. So I make sure I treat them with the utmost respect.
absolutely. But were you ever on like a tip, or was that a tip share, or was it
No. I was in the
salary?
back. They kept me away from the public.
All right, so I worked at Outback for a little bit as a waiter, right? And then traditionally print the bill off, hand them the thing, take it back, slide the card, and then they leave the tip or whatever it is, right, or cash. So this time we go out to a dinner. The guy brings the little kiosk to the table, and I tap the card, and it's like $52 or something like that. And then the options come up for tip. The options started at 22%.
Ooh, that's a little high.
The next one was 25, and the next one was 30. And then there was like an other category where custom tip or something like that.
Where you got to hit the button 30 times, and he knows I'm a 20% guy. I mean, if I'm feeling good, maybe had a really good week selling something, and I feel bad or something where I feel like I give more. Like I've had lunches in different situations where I'll give more, especially if it's like $10. I'll give $4 or $5.
Yeah, it's okay.
But not on a $52. That's a no brainer. That's 10 is the appropriate
Yes.
10 bucks.
I mean, I worked as a waiter, and like I said, man, people, it felt like 10% was like where it started for the most part when I was working. Like I
Well,
wasn't.
where does it start for you personally? We can call you out. Anybody who sees
So
this,
so again, I'm typically rated at 20.
yeah.
Like give it, and then kind of round to the nearest dollar sort of thing, up or down, and it could go to 18, it could go to 22 sort of thing. So it's not.
So what'd you do? Did you hit the buttons a
I hit
bunch of
the
times,
I hit
or
the 22 and just moved on.
that's what they want you to do? That's
It,
what they want you to do.
well,
Don't do what they want you to do.
well, here's the other one too. When you go to these places that are literally just taking your order
I refuse now. I don't.
and they slide it as like tip. I'm like, it's like, wait, this has never been a tip job. Like, what do you just took my order. Like, what do you? Are you gonna hand deliver it to me? Are you gonna like spoon it in my mouth? Put the
I
straw.
feel like you need to be spooned with the food. There's got to be something else. When they first started that, because it felt like it was maybe like one of the
I
kind
feel
of
like it's during
downsides. Maybe
COVID for some reason. Or
yeah, yeah. So we're trying to take care of food service people. I probably did it a handful of times then, but now, no, dude. I'll hit the button 600 times and be no. Hey, I went to the minor league baseball game and they had it there, and she turned it around and was like, hey, it's going to ask you a couple questions. And I'm like, what are they? They're asking me if I want a tip for you getting me my chicken sandwich and a bottle of water. I'm
yeah,
like,
like
no, dude, I'm
you walk over
already
there. Yeah.
$5 bottle of water, $9 chicken sandwich. I'm not tipping 20. I'm not tipping at all, dude. You're taking 4 steps and giving it to me. I'm not tipping, dude.
I'll do it myself. Is there a self-serve option?
There should be with that. I think it would work.
Yeah, that stuff has gotten out of hand. And again, I've been in it. I appreciate it. I know, but no situation. I mean, my whole life that's not been a tip job. Not it shouldn't be. Like you're getting paid, right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there,
and I
Paul.
don't even know where those tips go on some of those. Like who gets that? Like is it
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it gets. I don't know. I imagine they pull it up and maybe they divide it at the end. But those any. I would say almost at least around here. Now I'm sure there's some exceptions at really high end restaurants, but most of these jobs should be. You can't support yourself on them long term,
no, yeah.
and if you got a family or anything like that, it should be a side job for somebody who's trying to better themselves, or it cannot be your primary and only source of income. Um, but I always treat the people with respect. I'll give my 20%. Rarely do I go below 15, even if the service is terrible. I'll
Yeah.
usually go 15. And if it's great, it usually don't get much above, like you said, 22.
Yeah.
But I am, yeah, it is. I don't disagree with you. It is out of control. Out of control.
We'll get that straightened out. But anywho, so all right. Well, y'all enjoy the hump day. Make it a great one. Make sure you're subscribing, liking, following. Hey, leave us some reviews on Spotify or iHeart or Apple Pods. We appreciate that. And hey, we'll be talking to you soon. Draft's coming up. Draft's right around the corner.
Out. Go Pack. Go Tigers.